Welcome back. A few Wisconsin cities are sticking to COVID-19 stay-home orders for at least a couple more days, but some are making plans to reopen. Racine is one of them. Racine Mayor Corey Mason announced a plan for his city Friday. We're talking now with Mayor Mason. Thanks for being on up front. And I know your city will start reopening Tuesday. Tell us some of the basics of that plan. What's going to happen?
And so it's a phased reopening, right? I mean, it's sort of as Safer at Home expires Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., we needed to put something in place that balanced needing to reopen the economy and beginning an economic recovery with the concerns that we have about protecting public health. As the city of Racine is well over 800 cases at this point, and we're concerned about the continued spread of coronavirus, we had to come up with something that would give businesses some guidelines on how they should proceed, and the public some assurances that we were still taking the concern of the spread of coronavirus very seriously.
So what will things like bars and restaurants look like starting Tuesday?
Yeah, so it's a phased reopening, right? So what we're going to do is allow for 50% capacity in bars and restaurants. But again, I mean, all the Stay Safe Racine guidelines are as true today as they were yesterday.
You had a press conference about this on Friday, and you said you'd be willing to publicly acknowledge good actors and bad actors. What did you mean by that?
Well, all of this, look, it's not sustainable to just say we're going to shut the economy down indefinitely, right? And so we've got to figure out how to adapt and be smart about this as we're trying to reopen. So to be clear, like our Forward Racine plan is not a green light to slack off on public health protections. Like I want to be really clear about that. So we've talked to some employers who are really being very responsible about how they want to do a phased reopening and the precautions that they're taking and what they're doing to make sure that everything's clean. At the same time, though, I mean, we'll be working with law enforcement. And if we see, from residents and customers that there are places that are being reckless and not following guidelines around social distancing or capacity limits, we will enforce, if need be, the limitations that are there under the public health document to keep people safe.
Mayor, what are some of the challenges that come along with reopening?
Yeah, the challenge is how to keep everybody safe and try to responsibly reopen the economy, right? And the thing that is most unfair about coronavirus is it pits these two things against each other. I mean, people want to be healthy and they also need to make a living. And unfortunately, coronavirus puts those two things at conflict with each other. And so what we're trying to do is strike a balance that allows people to understand that, look, we still need to take precautions. We still need to wear masks when we're out in public. We still need to be 6 feet apart. We need to be responsible about this. So that has been very difficult. As a city, having to come up with our own sort of response to this and what should be a statewide response that we are left to figure out on our own as the Supreme Court irresponsibly the Wednesday before last just, lifted the order and left places like us to figure it out. That's been extremely difficult. What's been extremely difficult is the leadership in the legislature that has refused to come up with some sort of statewide standard that would keep us all safe. Because I can have a policy for the city of Racine, but coronavirus doesn't care about political boundaries, right? So if you leave the city limits and go somewhere else and bring coronavirus back, coronavirus doesn't recognize those sort of jurisdictional man-made political boundaries. So all of those things make it very difficult.
Well, you've created sort of an island there. And I know that some business owners are frustrated because their neighboring communities in Racine County, but outside of the city of Racine, are allowed to be open. And they say that that's not fair. What's your response to that?
Yeah, my response is there's nothing fair about coronavirus. There simply isn't. So to be in a community where, we made national top 10 lists for per capita increases in new cases puts the city of Racine in a place where we have to take these public health concerns very, very seriously. And so, it's why what the Supreme Court did was so reckless. It would be better if we had a statewide or at least a regional approach to keeping everybody safe. And so what we're trying to do is strike a balance between, ripping the Band-Aid off and throwing caution to the wind and saying anything goes versus being shut down into perpetuity. We're trying to strike a balance in the middle where we're using data to guide us and strike a midpoint there. And the other thing, to be clear, like if we experiment with this reopening and we see cases start increasing even more, we may have to dial it back down. We may have to put restrictions back in place to limit it. But this is the opportunity for the community to show that we can have a phased reopening and that people will be responsible and do their fair share to keep everybody safe.
This has been tough on everyone. What types of cuts could you be looking at within the city, especially when it comes to employees? That must be a discussion right now.
It is. I mean, look, the city is not immune to the same economic hardship that our small businesses and other people are facing in all this, right? I mean, as economic activity compresses, fewer people are doing things that bring revenue into the city. And so as we go through our budget this summer, no doubt, like every other business, we are going to have to look at a smaller budget just because of the impacts that we've seen. It is a big part of the reason that municipalities like Racine are going to need help from the state and federal government just to maintain essential services. And so that's a critically important thing that we're going to be wrestling with in the months to come.
Mayor Mason, a big week coming up for the city of Racine. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe, everyone.
You too. Next, a Wisconsin city that could make a speedy recovery after coronavirus.